One team in the East. We're talking about the All-Star Jaylen Brown and the Boston Celtics. And in the first, Jaylen Brown showing you why he's an All-Star. Got a little floater here. Boston up 7-0. But the big fella for Phoenix, look at him sealed down low, great position. He just goes up and tosses that home. That's easy business for him. Jaylen Brown, though, gets a steal, and that defense really turns into offense there. 27 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals for Brown. Kel Bridges banks in a layup for the Suns. They're up by 7. Then CP3, the Jacques Landale, who stuffs that home, and the Australian had 9.7 rebounds in the game. Phoenix now up by 16. CP3, a three-pointer. Chris Paul had 15 points in the game. Phoenix up by 20. Jaylen Brown to Jason Tatum, 4-3. At the half, Phoenix's lead was down to 13, 57-44. 4-3, and Boston starting to work their way back into this thing. They're down at this point by 5. Then Brown crossing over, driving down the lane. Little layup and one. He missed the free throw, but Phoenix's lead was down to 3. Later, Ayton on the business end of this and one alley-oop as he just goes up in traffic, and nobody can get up with him down there. Then Bridges gets to the elbow. Mikal Bridges knocks down the fadeaway. 74-71, Phoenix in front. Jason Tatum to Robert Williams at the end of the third. That goes down, and it's a one-point game going to the fourth. But Phoenix's bench contributed at the start of the fourth. Here's Saban Lee with the huge stuff, and the Suns are up by 9. Now Ish Wainwright trying his luck, and no, sir. This time it didn't work. Robert Williams gets the huge rejection there. But Phoenix is up by 11, and there's DeAndre Ayton again knocking down a jump shot. And at this point, Phoenix up by 9. Bridges now, fadeaway jumper. He had 25 points. The Suns by 10. Then Ayton with the putback stuff. He had a double-double, 14 points, 10 rebounds. He had 5 assists, and Phoenix gets the win. Sixers meeting up with the San Antonio Spurs, and early on it was apparent Joel Embiid would be tough to stop here. A little head fake, hits the free throw line jumper, and then drains the 3. Then it's Embiid with the Euro and finishing with the scoop layup. But after all that Embiid, San Antonio still up 19-17. Keldon Johnson drives and spins for the tough layup. He had 18 points on the game. In the second quarter, Tyrese Maxey goes between the legs and drives in for the layup. Then Shake Milton finds Maxey, who Euros and cuts for the layup, plus the foul. We'll watch it again. He'd make the free throw. Philly up by 6 at that point, 51-45. Later in the second, it's Embiid getting the steal and finding James Harden, and Harden throws up the alley-oop, and boy, Joel Embiid brings that one home. And at that point, Embiid and Harden working together again. This time it's Harden just left alone, and you can't leave him alone out there. Then Embiid drives in for the stuff. Watch it again. He had 33 points and 10 rebounds, and his 2 points there, the easiest he'd have all night. 88-75 at that point. Tyrese Maxey driving in for the layup off a Matisse Thybulle steal. Then Maxey gets the steal, and why not just pull up for 3 here? And you see Maxey 25 points on the game, and Philly up by 18. And then James Harden crossing over, pulling up for a 3. He had 16 points and 8 assists, and Philly just keeps on winning. They get this one, 137. Wizards trying to even their record at 500. Damian Lillard has been hot of late, 38 points per game over his last 10. Meanwhile, the Wizards have won 6 straight, and they're looking to make it 7. Here's Kristaps Porzingis just sealing inside. He's too big for anyone. He lays that one in, and then Bradley Beal. Nice crossover and a jumper, and Washington up by 11 early on, in Porzingis foot on the gas. Outside 3, that's money, and now he's feeling it. So he's going even deeper from outside and knocking shots down. He had 16 points in the opening quarter, and Washington up by 20. Here comes Damian Lillard in quarter number 2, taking a little contact, getting the shot to fall. He'd make the free throw, cutting the lead down to 17, but Bradley Beal stops and drops this shot, and Washington was back up by 20. They led it by 18 at the half. However, the third quarter belonged to Anthony Simons. Here he is knocking down a corner 3. Then Simons in transition for 3 more. Then it's Damian Lillard penetrating and kicking it out to, you guessed it, Simons. He knocks down a 3. Then Simons in transition for the layup. He had 20 points in the third quarter. Washington's lead down. Lillard driving to the bucket for the layup. And Portland cuts that lead back down to 2 for Washington, and then good Blazers ball movement yields another Anthony Simons 3. And Portland now has the lead, and they're adding to it with Damian Lillard driving in for the layup. Washington trying to hang around in this thing. Kyle Kuzma missing a 3 here, but watch Bradley Beal go up and get the rebound and lay it in. That cuts the lead back down to 2. Just too much from the Blazers down the stretch. Trendon Watford 3. Money. Then off an inbounds, Trendon Watford gets a steal and finds Anthony Simons for the transition slam. And Portland goes on to win it 124-116. For the Charlotte Hornets, but tonight he's back in action as their squad taking on the Detroit Pistons and Bojan Bogdanovic. And we start you off with Bogdanovic driving and making the floater. And you can see why so many teams value this guy, just so much talent. Bogdanovic drives and now makes the layup. He had 11 points in the first quarter. Later in the first, it's Ball outside for 3. That squares the game at 19 apiece. Then Terry Rozier hitting the step-back three-pointer. Charlotte up 24-21 at that point. Now, if a sloppy Pistons turnover, LaMelo going the other way and finds Gordon Hayward with this nifty little pass, and Hayward hangs in the air and lays it in. Charlotte by 3. Jaden Ivey to Hamidou Diallo with a tough contested layup plus foul. He'd make the free throw. Go ahead and flex. Then Mason Plumlee over to LaMelo Ball for the 3. Tied at 54. Tight game. Bogdanovic now driving addition to Jaden Ivey in it by 1, 69-68. Third quarter. Gordon Hayward going to work again, getting the floater to fall. 77-76, Charlotte in front. Then LaMelo Ball kicks it out to Terry Rozier in the corner for the fading 3 that goes. Charlotte by those 3. Off and inbounds now. Sadiq Bey makes a 3 in the corner for Detroit. Detroit retakes the lead, 88-86. Fourth quarter, buckle up. Dennis Smith going to work. A little hesitation and exploding to the rim to throw that one in. 98-97, Charlotte in front. Jaden Ivey makes the short jumper, and it's still tight, but Charlotte up by 2. Off an inbound. It's Bogdanovic making a step-back 3. Detroit goes up by 2. Then Jalen Duren finds Sadiq Bey in the corner for 3. And Detroit trade, and everybody won. Domantas Sabonis back in Indiana. He's an all-star for Sacramento. Tyrese Halliburton's an all-star for Indiana. In the first quarter, Domantas Sabonis cleaning up a missed 3 with a jam. He had 15 points, 16 rebounds, and 6 assists. TJ McConnell drives in and gives it off to Miles Turner for the jam. It's Indiana by 1. Buddy Hield catch and shoot 3. Money. Indiana up 43-39. Later, Harrison Barnes elevating in the paint, and boy, he's going to pound this one down. Little and one action as well. Watch it again, 51-42 after the made free throw there. Tyrese Halliburton now working in the half court, driving and scoring. And at the break, Indiana was up by 12. Buddy Hield goes to work, knocking down a deep three-pointer. That makes it 68-56. And then it's all-star on all-star. This is Halliburton with the action over Sabonis, stepping back and dropping down the shot. And it's 73-58. Kings trying to close the gap. Terrence Davis gets the screen, spots up, and drains the 3. It's a 5-point game. Later, the Kings down by 7. Malik Monk drills a 3, so it's a 4-point game. Kings within 4. Harrison Barnes wide open for 3. It's a 1-point game. Here are the Kings. Barnes, 23 points in the game. Pacers in transition now off a turnover, and it's Tyrese Halliburton going in for the stuff. He had 10 points, 9 assists, 3 steals. So Sabonis had the better of the individual battle, but it's the Pacers up by 6 at this point. Trey Lyles working on the drive and throwing this one down. It's 102-99. Then it's Buddy Hield on the other end, throwing it down over a couple of Kings here. He had 21 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. Kings a chance to tie it. Harrison Barnes, with less than 20 seconds left, has a great look at 3 here, but it just doesn't fall. And in the end, the Pacers get the win by 3. Your final score, 107-104. Utah to take on the Jazz. There's the All-Star Lauri Markkanen, and for the Hawks, Trae Young didn't make the All-Star squad this year, but in the first, he's looking like an All-Star. DeJounte Murray passes to Young, who scores on the floater and is fouled. He'd make the free throw. Atlanta up by 7. Jordan Clarkson misses the 3, but there's Markkanen with the putback. 14-5, though, Atlanta in front. Trae Young to DeAndre Hunter, who dishes to John Collins for the dunk. Collins had 10 in the first quarter, being guarded by Markkanen. Now Trae with a nice step back. He hits the long jumper. Atlanta by 10. Later in the second quarter, Onyeka Okongwu passes out to DeJounte Murray for the 3. Then it's Trae with the nice drive and score. And Atlanta at the number 3 off a Clint Capella missed free throw. John Collins makes just a terrific hustling effort to get the rebound and gets it out to DeAndre Hunter. He knocks down a 3. Then it's Trae Young with a nice dish to Clint Capella for the jam. Capella goes up and stuffs that one with the left hand. There's the pocket pass again from Trae Young. Atlanta at this point up by 11. There's another look at it as well. More third quarter action. Jordan Clarkson knocking down the pull-up jumper. Atlanta's lead down to 9 at this point. Great passing by the Hawks down the court, and it's Hunter with the finger roll. He had 12 points in the third quarter. Then Trae Young hits the floater. He scored 27 in the game, dished out 6 assists as well. Atlanta up by 13. Lauri Markkanen hits a 3. He had 25 points and 10 rebounds. Then it's Clarkson connecting on a 3. He had 24 points, and Atlanta's lead is down to 5. But Trae Young to DeAndre Hunter in the corner for 3. Hunter, 26 points on the night, and Atlanta gets a road win. Their star Anthony Edwards set for action against the Orlando Magic. In the first quarter, D'Angelo Russell finds Rudy Gobert for the alley-oop jam, and there's another look. Gobert just way up in the air, throwing that one down. Then Anthony Edwards, fake and drive for the layup. He had 19 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. Minnesota by 8. Jalen Suggs gets the steal and finds Cole Anthony. Watch Cole Anthony, a point guard, go way up and stuff that one home. And yeah, we're going to have a replay on that one. Minnesota, though, up 32-27. Bowl, all the way to the hole for the jam. Ties it at 43. Then it's Jalen Suggs with a step-back three-pointer. That one's money. Then Markelle Fultz finds Mo Bamba for the jam. At the half, Orlando led at 64-57 there in the third quarter, and that's effective because Rudy goes up and finishes with the jam. Jonathan Isaac's steal, and Isaac on the fast break misses the layup, but Markelle Fultz is there for the rebound and the jam of the Isaac miss. Then on a dead ball, Mo Bamba attacks Austin Rivers, and the two teams just going at it a little bit. And you see the teams rush over to break it up quickly. Thankfully, Mo Bamba, Jalen Suggs, Jaden McDaniels, Taurean Prince, and Austin Rivers ejected. 83-73 your count at that point. Off an inbound, Cole Anthony finds Bowl for the alley-oop layup, and then Gary Harris to Paolo Banchero inside for the layup and one. He'd make the free throw. Then it's Orlando with good ball movement. Fultz swings it to Gary Harris for the three-pointer, and Orlando, it's a nice win. Your final score in this one, 127-120. The Toronto Raptors meeting up with the Houston Rockets. We start you off with the Rockets. Young budding star Alperen Sengun setting up Kenyon Martin Jr. for the slam. What a wonderful pass that was. Houston up 12-3. Van Vliet goes high off the glass with the lefty reverse plus the foul. He'd make the free throw, but Houston still in front by 6. Sengun now driving the lane and throwing down the one-handed jam. Houston's up 21-13. Then Josh Christopher with a nice feed to a cutting Kenyon Martin Jr. for the stuff. There's another look at that one as Houston takes a 1-point lead. Van Vliet gets open with the pump fake, nails the corner triple. Toronto now in front by 6, 47-41. Eric Gordon playing well in this one, hitting the 3 off the dribble. That's a deep one, cutting the lead down to 1. Now time winding down in the half, and Gary Trent Jr. winding up, knocking down the three-pointer here. 55-48 Toronto. Carries a 7, does the Euro step to score the lay-in here. It's 63-48 Toronto, up by 15, but Gordon knocks down a triple, tying him with Kobe Bryant for 22nd in three-point field goals all time. Toronto up 71-57 though. Nation Nix finding a trailing Kenyon Martin Jr. on the fast break. He gets the stuff, the lead down to 9. Rockets trying to stay within shouting distance. Chris Boucher blocks Jay Sean Tate, though. Then Fred Van Vliet hits the step-back mid-range jumper. It's 83-69. And the Raptors start to pull away. Gary Trent Jr. knocking down the 3 at the top of the arc. Then he's feeding Pascal Siakam on the break, and Siakam able to finish that one. Then it's Siakam nailing the step-back jumper for a double-digit lead. And in the end, just too much from the Raptors. They go